And we're back, everybody. Apologies for the technical issues. I hope we've got them all solved up here. In the meantime, however, Karma did take map 1. They're winning that last fight in a very climactic fashion. It was, I believe, Seraph picking up another 3K on the Reaper during the last fight. Unfortunate that you guys had to miss that one, but I think we may just have these stream issues all fixed up. And now we're headed on to Volskaya. Before we head there, though, is there anything you want to note about that last map, Vila?
No, just again, exceptional Reaper play coming out from Seraph. On that final fight, we saw Bard getting a little over-aggressive on the Mei. They punished him for it. And once that Mei is gone, he understood he had that Death Blossom dead to rights on the side of Modify. Went in and completely took advantage of it. Just really good job of understanding, just push and pull, knowing when you can push, knowing when you can't, and going in for the kill right when you knew he could.
Yeah, and now we're headed in here. It will be Volskaya Industries. What do you want to see fixed up by Modify?
Well, I think Modify, they're going to get a lot more of an advantage this map because we saw a sort of dive-centric kind of hybrid comp being run by Karma. And it's going to be a lot harder to run this kind of composition here. This is a much more Brawl-centric. You can also run some spam, some double shield if you would really like. But Brawl's kind of king here. So I think Modify are going to have a much better chance of getting the win here compared to Busan. And Volskaya is a very intelligent pick from them.
And I've got to say, Karma coming out swinging right now. They started off the day 1-3, but they're already 1 map into this series. They're looking real hot. And I got to be honest, out of Modify, I don't like this Zarya. Stan Bumper has looked decent on it, but it hasn't been game-changing at all. The Graviton Surges really haven't won them any fights. It's been the Blizzard that comes afterwards. I want to see a D.Va. I want to see more appeal for their supports.
Absolutely. Wise on the Tracer was tormenting the supports over on Busan. The bubbles were coming out from Stan Bumper very early. They weren't getting too much value outside of energy, but they are going to be sticking with it. The personal already gone coming into this fight.
And Karma want to close this distance ASAP right now. Fight on point. Takanon finds the Fire Strike through early. No Brigitte means no stall on this point. And Seraph finds Bard already. This fight ends before it even begins. Karma take point A by storm.
Surgical by Karma right there. They get the great wall, completely split them up, going laterally, which is very interesting. You don't see that very often coming out from Mei walls. And then we see a nice Fire Strike being able to come in. They get the early elimination. Kuchikopi doing a great job on that D.Va, going up to the high ground, firing down, getting them in a pincer attack, and they wrap up point A in record time.
I've gotta say, man, Wise is looking very, very good on this Mei so far. It's the first time, honest, since we saw him on Tracer the entirety of the last map. And it's the first time we've seen Karma on this composition, but they look great. Instante is already walled off. You're attacking him, searching for the kill. Seraph is already in the backline. It feels like he lives there at this point. Just set up a couch because Takanon takes out Bard in the front line. Colas will be dropped here. Karma down 1 person now without a main tank. Instante, however, goes down. Neither team with a Reinhardt right about now. Stan Bumper, however, takes out Seraph. And that's that big problem gone of the Reaper. Karma are going to have to wait just a little bit long before they get to see the end of Volskaya.
A good adjustment coming out from Modify coming into this second map. The Reaper was giving them so many problems. The second they would lose their Reinhardt, the Reaper would decide to run rampant. But now what they're doing is the second they see them going for the Reinhardt, they're all focusing Seraph down on that Reaper. And when they lose the Rein, they're quickly trading for the Reaper, so they can't just run amok in their line. Very good adjustment coming out from Modify.
Now this push coming in. Karma has basically nothing in the way of ultimates. Kuchikopi will have the bomb. We saw him pull out a couple kills with it on the previous map, but doing without any other ultimates is going to be a tall ask. Meanwhile, Seraph, his fight-winning Death Blossom have been massive, and he's looking for more. Drops in on the team, finds Stan Bumper, just waiting for his opportunity to drop this Death Blossom in, but not before the Dragon comes out here from MTT. Finds one on the Kuchikopi, a second one down on the Seraph with the help of Stan Bumper. And now this fight's all but won by Modify with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock. Karma looking more than healthy.
A little impatient coming in from Karma. They had the Shatter canceled when Takanom died in that last fight, which was very unfortunate for him, but they decided to immediately go in with that self-destruct. And Sante with a big 3K on the exit, by the way. But yeah, they decided to come in with that self-destruct, try to split Modify up, but they're all just held together on that left-hand side. They can all just get back around the corner. Stan Bumper still has that personal bubble up. The barrier from Instante is still very good HP, and they just weren't able to get any value out of it. And now coming in, we're going to have the Shatter, Sound Barrier, the Grab, and the Blizzard coming out from Modify. So Karma, hopefully some good ult tracking here, and they can just dry push coming in.
Whole lot of check marks at the top of that screen, and a whole lot of them are going to win this fight for Karma. They started with the Graviton, chucked the Blizzard down on top. Everyone's frozen, but Seraph's in the back line. Not able to find the 3K this time, only finds Sans Bumper. And that's going to be the end of the fight. That Blizzard Graviton combo is proving more than effective here for Modify.
Interesting that they're using them at the same time. You typically want to do one, then the other. You want to like win one team fight off the Blizzard, win one off the grab, or if it doesn't work, you grab, and then if the grab doesn't get kills, then you throw in the Blizzard like we discussed first map. But they decided to go both at the same time, but they do still have pretty much 4 other ults coming in here, so not a terrible loss, still a 2 ult fight win, and then Seraph, that's going to be one he wants back. But they are going to be coming in with their own Blizzard and their own Sound Barrier and a Coalescence to boot. So a decent opportunity with Karma, but with Seraph going down, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider it a decent opportunity anymore. We seem to have lost one of the most important players here on. Karma been carrying him all night, but he's not going to be able to carry him through this one as his team gets shattered behind, and it's going to be Modify searching for more kills, getting some revenge on him, paying the Karma for point A.
I love the play by Instante right here. Just so aggressive, so in your face. You thought you were just going to back out? You thought we were going to take the 1 kill onto your Reaper and let you go? No, I'm going to shatter, and we're just going to go in on you. But now the unfortunate thing is they've used that shatter and that Coalescence, and now look, we have 4 ultimates on the side of Karma, including the Sound Barrier and the Blizzard, which they still have from last fight.
Oh,
But
and now
another
goes
pick.
down.
They
That
just
might
gotta
actually
stay
be
up.
just enough, though, because now they can start to even out that ultimate game. They can start putting that
Absolutely.
Graviton Surge back online. This could be a huge pick for Modify.
Bard already back up to 65% on that Blizzard stand bumper, already up to 50. They gotta make something happen while they have this ult economy. They just keep getting picked. They gotta stay up here, Door.
And MTT's got the Dragon. There's a lot of places he could throw this one. Kuchkopi is going to need a big eat on something here if they want to continue. This is going to be their best opportunity. They head in. The Dragon, though, heads straight down the lane. Takes out Wise. The Mei now down.
Down
as
the
well.
fight.
The fight's already lost here for Karma. No Mei, no Ryan. No point for you, says Modify.
Yeah, even when they're not getting pick Karma, this looks so pensive coming in here. I like their idea of trying to switch it up and going up to the top right-hand side, especially going against the Mei. Again, Bard plays a very aggressive Mei. He's going to be looking for those walls. He's going to Iceberg right in your face, deny you that damage coming in. And now look, he's already up to another Blizzard. They have managed to stall this so long just with pick potential that they've already built up to their Blizzard again. And they're already close to another Graviton Surge.
I didn't like the Blizzard Graviton that we saw earlier. I'd rather see with a Dragon or a Coalescence save that Blizzard, but you know what? They've completely overcome that deficit, and now they're going to chuck in the Blizzard. Karma think this is their fight to win, but the Sound Barrier looks to keep the entirety of Modify alive. Can't keep Instante up. Meanwhile, there's 2 sports being dove on with the Coalescence. Trolls is all up in their face right now, but they've got their own Blizzard to deal with. An MTT and Stand Bumper are cleaning it up. The Graviton chucked in on top. 1 and 10 seconds left on the clock. Karma have very little time to work with.
Excellent job by Modify. This is the game of Overwatch in a nutshell. Punch, counter punch, repeat. Very good ult tracking coming in. Karma, they come with their Blizzard. They respond perfectly. They drop the Sound Barrier. They lose some people. And very good fight awareness. Understand that just because the Reinhardt went down due to the Coalescence and the Blizzard doesn't mean the fight is necessarily lost. They counter with their own Blizzard. They force out the Sound Barrier, and they take the win. Fantastic job coming in for Modify, and they're already building up to their own Shatter once again, and another Dragon Strike coming in. Kuchikopi, as you mentioned earlier, Sammy again, they're going to try to get a big eat on this Dragon.
They're playing aggressive though. Modify want another one of those free fight wins. They're not going to find it. That Shatter, in fact, doesn't even find anything but a great mate. Well, out of Wise finds a Reinhardt, but everybody's in one place for MTT's Dragon. Takes out 3. 20 seconds left on the clock here. Karma, it's do or die right now with Kuchkopi frozen out, staggered on this point. Trolls is searching for just a touch here. 10 seconds left on the clock. This looks all but hopeless. It's not even a take has been taken here. 8 seconds left. Heading for the point.
Albert coming back
They're
in.
hunting him down.
Seconds. They're going to touch.
Punches. Cole has a drop down point, but he gets swung through a little bit too close. A little bit too near the fire. Instante, that hammer is dishing out a lot of damage right now. Takina looking to hold on his point, but he'll just get blown straight through. The Sound Barrier is still there. The Blizzard's still up for Modify, and it's all just gravy at this point as overtime ticks down the way of Modify.
Yeah, I want to firstly give a lot of credit to MTT when they threw in that Dragon. That was pixel perfect timing. They got the wall onto Instante. Karma got aggressive, coming and thinking that this was going to be their push. MTT sends in the Dragon right as they come through. They have nowhere to run. They get 3, and they're able to completely hold it all the way to OT, not giving up any progress on point B. Karma continuing their aggression, still playing extremely well, but Modify, very good opportunity for them to bounce back here, Dor.
Yeah, and honestly, considering the speed, the absolute light speed that Karma took that first point at, it is incredible that Modify pulled off such an absolutely just heroic hold there on point B, and now they get the fire back. What do you think they're going to be doing it with?
I think they're just going to stick with the same thing. They might swap off the Zarya, even though I doubt it, but maybe they might go to D.Va to counter. But I expect them to just keep running that Mei Brawl composition. They're very much like Comets. They really like running that kind of comp. They stick to meta. They play very simple, in-your-face Brawl. And it looks like right now, I actually might be wrong, they might be swapping off Bard, very potent Pharah player. And unless they're going for a debate on me here, they might be coming out on that Pharah with a Hanzo as well. So a bit more of a spam kind of combo coming out from the side of Modify. And then we see Karma going to be responding with their own Pharmercy. I would love to see this. Please give us a Pharmercy battle right now.
I'd love to see
Please. And then responding as well with their own Mei.
Seraph, the carry of the night, versus Bard, the caster player. Mei Wonder so far looking to take him on in the skies. And I gotta say, I gotta hand the advantage over to the attacking Pharah here. The sightline's just a little better, a lot more cover to work with once you get pushed back onto the point here. Although it's not gonna be particularly one-sided. I expect it to be pretty even as far as the cover goes. It's just slightly an edge of Bard as they start to push their way onto this point.
So that Karma playing very far back, looking to make a quick rotation here, Dora. And they're going to rotate onto the point. They're going to grip a lot of space here.
But they're directly under Seraph, and those rockets are going to start to dish out a lot of damage. Bard, however, found Trolls. That main heals now out of the way. He finds another one. Stand bumper. Bard takes out Halvar. Looking to win this Far Mercy fight. No, he goes down. Mercy tries for the res. Wet Nulo gets bumped away by Cooch Copy. Clean D.Va play right now, but not clean enough to win him this point. As Modify just make it through as easily as Karma did.
Yeah, the big problem there for Karma is that you're running a Mei composition, but they're not playing the choke, and that's exactly what happened. They gave up so much ground, so that allowed Bard on the far and MTT on that Hanzo to take high ground, to come in the open space and just rain damage in from multiple angles. They couldn't get a good wall because they didn't play the choke, and they just allowed Modify to come in and completely take that point for free. And now it's only one tick, and they have almost 6 minutes to do it here, Dor.
Yeah, we see hero swaps, so Seraph heads on to the McCree. Meanwhile, Bard swaps off to the Mesa. Both teams switching to something a little bit more meta here. However, Stand Bumper is still on that Zarya. They've got that win condition of the Graviton Surge, and they're about 70% of the way to it, as they're going to start their push into point B here in just a moment. I think they're trying to get up a little bit of ultimate charge, however, as well as that Zarya particle cannon charge before they make their push in.
Yeah, Modify so far, look like they're playing this smart. They know they can't snowball. I think they're just trying to build up some charge. Bard taking a lot of damage right there. The projective barrier coming out and the personal. They're going to start going here. They have no barriers here, but they do have a wall. Can they get him here? The counter wall comes in.
What a great wall there, and being charged out now. Takenom almost certain to go down here on the Reinhardt. Stand Bumper, however, finds two, takes out the DPS. The Shatter of Instante is going to close out this point. Finding the remaining members of Karma now just takes out the baby. It should start ticking over their way, and one is all they need. No one's even close to touching this. It's going to be Modify taking map 2, evening up the score 1-1.
Wise dropped their wall there. I'm not entirely certain why. It was a very good wall that came in onto the side of Karma, and they dropped it very quickly, which allowed their Reinhardt, which allowed Instante to get away. Excuse me. They maybe could have gotten that pick there, but instead they just dropped the wall. They have a good advantage. They played 2 points and didn't get much value out of the Mei, so it's not really any surprise why Modify were able to take that map so quickly.
Yeah, well done. A significant improvement from what we saw in Busan. Honestly, they looked like they were working together a lot more. They knew what ultimate combos they wanted to use before fights. They weren't overcommitting. They always knew they had something in the back pocket, even if I do think that Graviton Surge plus Blizzard is a little bit of a waste when you have a Hanzo and a Moira on your team. I think they're definitely playing the ultimate game better, and that's winning them a whole lot of fights.
Absolutely, and I love Modify's patience coming into that second point. They had used their bubbles. They waited for the aggression from Karma. They forced out the Mei wall. They forced out the I field, and then once they got those down, they were able to just immediately go in. Just outstanding job by them, knowing the important resources that Karma are going to want to use to their advantage to stop their push, waiting for those, and then pulling the trigger.
Yes, sir. It's been a great match so far as Karma and Modify are tied up at 1-1 here. We're going to head off for a quick little 10-minute halftime break. We'll see you guys in just a bit. The score is currently 1-1 here as we head off a halftime. Vila, I understand there's a couple things we want to start talking about here. Modify and Karma both looking very strong. Karma coming out arguably looking better than they have ever so far this season, taking that first map off of Modify. They ran some wonky stuff. What were they doing there, though, on that Busan map, since the viewers didn't get to see too much of it?
Well, coming into Busan, they were running this sort of hybrid composition. They had a lot of dive pieces. They had a Tracer. They were running the Winston and the Diva, but they were also running some brawl pieces. They had the Brig and they had the Reaper going. So they're able to come in and just get the side of Modify really split, and then use their misdirection to not only split up the backline, but also use their more tanky kind of front with the Reaper and the Brig to still have a good amount of sustain on the point. And they had a lot of success with that. They were able to take both maps back-to-back on Busan. But once we went over to Volskaya, things really started to go more the way of Modify. You know, Karma couldn't play that more dive-centric composition anymore. They had to swap over to a brawl, and they had to practically mirror match. You know, Bard, entire season, has been doing a fantastic job on that Mei. Instante's Ryan play was fantastic. Stan Bumper was really playing well with the bubbles around the Reinhardt. And without that backline pressure coming in from Karma, the supports were also able to just really keep that front line stout. So once it went to the mirror match, Modify, it was pretty much all their game. Karma's still showing a good amount of promise. They took point A extremely quickly, first fight off a big pick, and they're looking way more competitive than many thought they were going to look. If you look at the predictions, this was an incredibly one-sided prediction, and Karma thus far have been putting up an incredible fight.
Yeah, I've got to say, this feels like that classic matchup that we get a lot of the time here at Tranquility of one team is better player skill-wise individually, and that feels like it's been Karma. Cooch Coffee, Wise, Seraph have all had fight-changing ultimates, absolute carries on points and in fights. Meanwhile, Modify, their ultimate economy looks incredible. Their ultimate use is very withheld. Their pre-fight planning, you can tell they're coming and they know exactly what they want to do, and they are able to execute on that plan, and that pays off so much on a map like 2CP. But the next map was chosen by Karma. It's going to be King's Row, and we've gotten to see Karma play a couple of different things between the dive brawl, the brawl. What do you think they're going to whip out here on King's Row?
I expected to see a lot of straightforward brawl. You know, Modify, no matter what, that's what they like to run. Karma, when they went into Volskaya, they were forced to run it in King's Row. Interesting pick coming out from Karma, because again, it is very brawl centric. Maybe they might swap to more of a, you know, spam double shield kind of comp. We just saw that in the Potatoes and Comets game the other day, and spam tends to do pretty well against brawl, at least when played correctly. So a couple things up in the air, but most likely just going to be a very straightforward Mei brawl kind of night here on King's Row.
Yeah, here on King's Row, the Junkrat is something you could keep an eye out for. The PDK Kid classic, as we like to say here at Tranquility in this community. And now it will be Karma starting out on the attack. So Modify with the slight advantage. Defending first here, especially on payload maps, being able to budget out your ultimates so you know what you need to use is such a key part of these. And so Karma are going to have to set a pretty strong time and try to make it pretty far in this map. And they're going to be using that Far Mercy out of Seraph and Halvar again to do it.
Absolutely. A little scary for them as well, considering how good on the defense Modify were. I mean, they held Karma on point B for about 6 minutes, if I recall correctly, and a little questionable. I mean, Pharah at point A is still pretty popular. You know, you see it a lot, but Seraph was doing so much work on that Reaper. I'm a little surprised to see them go to the Pharah. It's not the first time they did do it on point A on Volskaya with very horrific results, I may add. But, you know, they do have the luxury of being the attacking side and having the ability to swap if need be. The defending side, on the side of Modify, do not have that luxury, and now we're going to see they are going to commit to that Pharmacy.
Yeah, dealing with this Pharmacy is actually going to be a pretty big problem. The only person who's really going to stand much of a chance is going to be MTT and Lekka. But taking this bird out of the sky is going to be very, very difficult as the push starts to come in, and those rockets already applying pressure. MTT goes down, and that's that sniper out of the way. Seraph basically has free reign of the skies right now. He's searching for this port, searching for the Ana. He knows inside this hotel, dropped low, and now with AoE damage, Cooch Coffee gets D-Mech now. Going to the point, the wall lands here from Karma. Takanom drops low, still purple. Nobody's dying quickly enough here on the side of Modify, though. Apex takes out Takanom. Now without a main tank here, the push is going to come in from Modify. They need to end this fight early, but Trolls finds two with that purple orb. And again, Seraph, it's just in the sky, untouchable right now on this far, and there's not a single bit of hit scan until MTT gets in on this point to deal with it.
Yeah, a couple bad things for Modify there. One, they were just playing super far up. They didn't get a very good wall in, so all of Karma was able to just sweep in, and then they went in so aggressively, they caught Modify mid-rotation. They were at the pillar, the statue where the mini is, trying to get back. They weren't able to, and they didn't have a counter for Seraph, so Seraph was able to get a really quick kill onto MTT on that Hanzo, and the rest was history from there. But Apex, the fortunate thing is he did build up to a Blizzard coming into this next fight.
Yeah, he's got plenty in his back pocket to try and win this fight, but I like what we're seeing out of Karma. They've pushed up to this first corner, gained themselves that first choke point, not allowing anything to really stop them there. No troubles. We've seen many a team fall minutes and give away so much time to that corner alone, but Karma are already down one. The barrage comes in, but it only finds two. Still down one member. Karma are not long for this fight, and they may just have to make it through that choke they worked so hard to avoid.
Yeah, Seraph once again trying to be the hero, coming in with that ultimate like he did on Volskaya with that Death Blossom where it didn't quite work out. This time the timing was a lot more understandable as everything was popping off, but he was going to swap over to that Reaper, which I think is very intelligent. You know, you're going past point A, you're trying to attack Pharah, not as good now. Just want to bunker down with that Reaper, get that frontline pressure to help your Reinhardt out. And now Karma, they're going to have the ult economy coming into this, but the grab is up for Stamp Bumper. Let's see if Kuchikovi can get a big eat on this.
Kuchikovi's searching for it. Wise does have the Blizzard. They can just avoid the grab, a ton of damage. They can win this fight, but the Dragon comes through. No! Pardon me. The Blizzard dropped on the point now. 4 people frozen up. Deadeye doesn't find any value here as Instance and Whitman go down. The kills are loading up in Karma's way, and they've still got ultimates in the bank.
And that is huge for Karma. They're running a support line that does not have a defensive ultimate. They popped the Valkyrie there, which is not going to do you any good compared to someone like a Transcendence or a Sound Barrier when they're caught in a Graviton Surge. But they were able to spawn Wise with an exceptional Blizzard usage right there to respond after they lose their Reinhardt, and they're able to swing the fight back. So you're Modify, you use that Graviton onto a team that doesn't have a support ult, or sorry, a defensive ult. You think that you have to fight in the bag, and you get nothing.
Yeah, that ultimate advantage on Karma's side really was a lot to overcome, but now the Maywall might be something bigger here. Lands on Attackanom, he'll go down for it without Seraph in this fight. Instante's Shatter is free, takes down 3 members, and win that fight very readily here for the side of Modify.
Seraph, a little bit of poor positioning gets punished right there. We're seeing a little bit of a, a risk and reward kind of play style coming out from him. Very much in the likes of Wolven, maybe not as aggressive, but a little bit in the same vein. And then you also had Instante. He got a really good charge off in short range on Attackanom, was able to finish up that kill. And now they're going to have their own Sound Barrier coming into this. And now we finally see a swap over to the Lucio. Good swap for the side of Karma. They're going to need a defensive ult coming into this composition with a Zarya, a Reinhardt, and a Mei.
They may not have the aggression of Mr. Quick Play himself, but I'll tell you what, this Karma team looks fast as ever right now as they start the engagement onto Instante, but a great wall cuts off the Reinhardt. The Graviton Surge is down. Instante swinging through, trying to find kills. Nothing down, but finally those health bars are chunked out here as Modify win yet another fight with a great Graviton Surge.
Yeah, the grab placement was perfect. They used their bomb, and the second that bomb went in, Stan Bumper knew that he had a free grab, and the bomb placement was just a little too far back. It was on the other side of the payload, so it allowed the side of Modify to just get really aggressive, push in past the payload, use it as cover from behind, take advantage of the fact that they don't have a full front line with tanks due to the self-destruct going in, and then coming in with their Graviton Surge to win. And now they were spawning Blizzard, and Wise is going to be coming with his own Blizzard in this next fight.
Yeah, they've got a lot of ultimates charged up, and that's exactly where Modify were. When we saw them take Volskaya Industries, they had a significant ultimate advantage. They got to use it however they want. They're planning their fights. They're going to be using exactly how many ultimates they want.
How about the Blizzards here, Dor?
Oh, he's surging for it right now. Wise is just waiting for his opportunity. Kuchikovi gets thrown up, dropped in.
Right for it. It gets canceled.
Oh, the Apex down. Now the fight rolls over the way of Karma. You don't need any ultimates to finish that one off. Trolls dips in the Coalescence, but not much more is going to be needed here for the red side.
That is a heartbreaker for Modify. You invest your Blizzard, you get nothing, and then all that Karma had to use was a Coalescence to win that fight. But the consolation for the side of Modify, despite the fact that they're going to lose out on point B, is you still have a lot of ultimates. When they come with their Blizzard, you're going to have a responding Sound Barrier. You have a Death Blossom for shield break. With the Blizzard is coming right in, they don't have an eat.
The Sound Barrier used it might have been a little bit early here, though. Their players are going to get frozen up. These shields are starting to wear off. It was too early here, and now push comes in from Karma. Nothing found off the Blizzard. Starting, the Coalescence will be dropped in here from Modify, looking to win this fight. You're using it inside with the Deadeye, pardon me, yet again. Kuchikovi goes down to the Coalescence. Another readily won fight here by Modify. That Mei is doing wonders in the front line right now.
Push and pull, Dor. They win in on the Blizzard. They didn't have the follow-up. The Sound Barrier was good coming out from Wit. And then once they're able to respond, the side of Karma, they're just all scrambled. Kuchikovi gets caught out of position way too far ahead, gets frozen up, the eye field coming in, from Halber was perfect, but just wasn't enough to keep them up. It did cancel out the Deadeye, but once your D.Va goes out of mech like that, you lose the frontline support for your Reinhardt, and it's all over from there. But big thing for Karma is that they do have very strong ult economy coming into this next fight.
They do. They've got plenty to do. That amplification matrix is a huge threat right now. That Baptiste and the Mei firing through that. A Fire Strike will one-shot some of these 200 HP heroes, and they're going to drop it immediately. The Deadeye alongside it will deal a lot of damage. Finds two. Apex and Stan down. Now Tacticom look for the cleanup here. This Reinhardt is just going to be all too much. Ultimates in from both sides, but Karma finds the fight victory.
A very telegraphed grab coming in from Stan Bumper, and they just don't really get any value out of it. But the plus side is you come in, you invest your grab, and you get a lot of ultimates coming out from Karma. They use the eye field, or excuse me, they use their Amp Matrix, they use the Shadow, they use the Deadeye. And now we're going to see respawning Deadeye. He's got a flank angle, but the shield comes in. Great job from Takadom there.
And Modify might not need much to win this fight. They find the boot behind the Deadeye, and the Blizzard's gonna be dropped on top just for good measure. Modify don't want to be losing this fight anytime soon. But now, they may have just overused those ultimates here. They don't have anything to back this up.
And that's the danger in over-investing ultimates right there. They don't have enough time to really build up to much more of them. They only have the Coalescence coming in. They're a little close to a Blizzard. It's going to be so crucial for Live to try to build up. They have 30 seconds left to do it. But the Sound Barrier, I mean, they're going to get that at roughly the same time.
And the Sound Barrier is going to be a great stalling tool that Modify have in their back pocket. It's just how much time can they buy. Stan Bumper though! Oh, a great wall! Takes him out! And Wise might have just done it. He's 95% to that Blizzard. That could be looking to close out this fight. Tacticom gets frozen up, gets stopped, but not for much longer. And Stante finds a pin, but not much left on this point. Apex, the last remaining member alive, is Mei looking for the stall. The ball coming back to point. Stan Bumper is alive, and this could last a while, but he is knocked down. What a point! Boom! Racing his way on the point, though. Whitman, he might just make it. No, goes down to the hammer of Tacadom. He's no match. In overtime, however, Karma take over King's Row.
It wasn't even a boop, excuse me. It was just the swing of the Reinhardt hammer with the perfect angle to stop that ball from recontesting. And then, you know, they lose someone right away. They did not rotate fast enough. You got to be big on that S key. And then Wit going down for Modify is absolutely massive. You lose out on that sound barrier. He was 91, so close to getting it back up. There was a good chance he could have built it up right as the Blizzard came in. Maybe he could have kept this team up. It allowed for those respawns to come in, but instead, it's a full cap coming in from Karma. Fantastic job of taking advantage of the picks and getting aggressive.
And now Modify, the onus is on them. They've got to finish up this map and hopefully not do it in overtime. That's going to be the real question here. I think they stand a pretty decent chance of making it to the end, especially with the way they roll the ultimate economy. But are they going to be able to roll it to the end of the map before they get stopped out by Karma here? They got to be very, very careful because there's been so many clutch plays coming out from this red side, whether it be Seraph, whether it be Wise, whether it be Kuchikopi, and it was Wise on that final fight. That Mei wall onto the Zarya Stand Bumper didn't stand a chance. And it's just plays like that that are winning Karma these fights. They're really taking it away, regardless of the ultimate economy. They're just outplaying individually the Modify team.
Firstly, we do want to say we are aware of some technical issues going on. Our producer is already working on that. Pardon us for one moment while we try to get this going. And then, yeah, I mean, Karma, I think in general, a lot of the stuff with Harmony tier, it's just which team is more hot coming into a map or coming into a night. You know, there's so much parity, there's so much competition here. And now we're going to see the attack and not really much changes for the side of Modify, except for the Widowmaker going to go for a grapple shot, not going to find anything there. But they're going to go for some early picks there, and they're going to force a rotation very early for Karma.
MTT will be a threat unless Kuchikopi can start to deal with it on this D.Va, but he's going to start to make some great anti-nade. Lands down on the 3, though. The players of Karma should start going down here soon. Great invulnerability in the field keeps them alive for the time being, but MTT is just too much. Tacadom takes out Instante. No main tank here for the side of Modify. They just have to back right off. They're going to have a player advantage once their tank comes back up, but they're just stalling for the time being. They can't afford to lose players, and MTT is doing such a great job applying pressure on this Widowmaker. Kuchikopi tries to force him off the high ground, gets frozen up himself, is now Demon, and this might just be disaster here for Karma, as MTT has done so much on the Widowmaker. Halvar finds one on a Stand Bumper, gets booped out himself, though, and MTT the headshot when they need it most. The trades are coming left and right here. It's an even fight on point, but Lekka and the entirety of Modify are looking to stop this one up and take point A of King's Row.
I feel so bad for Halvar in that fight. He saved everyone with that eye field. It was perfect timing, perfect placement from a bit of a distance. That is not incredibly easy to do as a Baptiste player. Already building up 65%, and then right after that, they get a little over-aggressive. They chase a little too much. Kupakoshi going aggressive onto MTT on that Widowmaker, getting caught out around the statue, and that enabled Modify to come back in. But we see a lot of ult charge already coming in for Karma. 2 Blizzards coming in from both sides, a Shatter coming in from both, and an early support ultimate. But Instantante gets walled off. Is he going to be able to get around?
Absolutely not. Stim Bumper gets taken out. Pays
counter Shatter
right now on the ground here. Great anti-nade forces Karma back, but these kills are rolling through anyway. That Shatter is too much to handle.
Yeah, absolutely great job of taking an early fight. This is what you want to do. You want to. There's a good saying in Overwatch: the team that ults first wins. That's exactly what we just saw coming out from Karma. They staggered them perfectly, keeping their Reinhardt alive, playing around the wall that came out from Wise, punishing Stan Bumpered using that personal barrier very early, as he's been doing recurrent tonight. And now we're seeing the aggression coming back in. Another early barrier. The wall is not getting all that much.
Both walls work, but the Graviton doesn't. Eats up the Deadeye, however. Seraph's gonna be more than happy to be sucked into a small area with a bunch of people, dropping that Q on the point. Now continuing to push forward. The Blizzard dropped as well. 4 minutes and 5 seconds left on the clock. Maybe a bit of an overcommitment, unless Modify can take the fight based on this. But Whitman is the man set to try and finish it off on this Lucio. I don't think he'll be getting any kills anytime soon.
And that's an ultimate that Apex is going to want back. You know, they tried to pull it off like they did on Volskaya when Bard was on the Mei. When they used that ultimate, when they had lost their Reinhardt to bring the fight back into choke, but they didn't have the ability to do that. They didn't have the damage, they didn't have the follow-up, and they didn't have the positional advantage. And that's going to be one he wants back. They do have the sound barrier coming in. They're going up against a window and a self-destruct. They can potentially aggressively sound barrier this here, George. Let's see if they do it.
Sound barrier is going to be absolutely key. Whitman has to time it perfectly. Not too early, not too late. Now the Mei wall comes down from Wise, whiffs big, and now there's a big opportunity for Apex to make a play. If he can find the wall and attacking him, finds it. The supports are now walled off. He's under a lot of pressure. Takes the Reinhardt out early. The Amplification Matrix now used, trying to find the damage through Talbar and Wise, both on the opposite end of that. The Deep Bomb dropped on point. Doesn't find any kills, however. The Dome is hit down on here. The Mei of Apex.
Great.
Now Seraph, he still has the Deadeye, and this man is just too much to handle. The DPS plays have been clutching. There's only 3 members of Modify remaining as they're on the back foot here with 2 minutes and 57 seconds left on the clock.
That was absolutely beautiful counterplay to the grab. They throw it in, the wall comes up blocking the front side of Street. Everybody that tries to go around to the right-hand side is immediately in harm's way of Seraph's ultimate from the Deadeye coming in at a responding angle. Beautiful counterplay.
I mean, let's talk about the disengage. They got rid of the ultimate. They stepped back. They bought Seraph time, and he made it every bit of it worth it. And now they're looking to win a second fight here as Coalescences are dropped from both sides. Takenom dishes out the damage, but a great flashbang keeps him off of Instantante for the time being. Disengages from this Blizzard, but the High Noon will be dropped in. Takenom not going down anytime soon. There's a lot of members in the line. It's McCree, though. The Shatter finds 3. Takenom, forget the Deadeye. He's got the Shatter. Gonna win yet another fight here for Karma with it.
They're ulting first, they're taking the fights, they're controlling the tempo, and the walls have been utterly incredible, but even more so, Halver's eye-field placements and timings have been absolute perfection. Pixel perfect, you cannot get any better than what this man has been throwing up tonight. If you ever needed a guide on when and how to use eye-fields and team fights, Halver has your back.
Yeah, and Karma, honestly, this game is exactly how they want it to go. It is just an ultimate slugfest. Players throwing in Qs left and right. No amount of pre-fight planning is getting modified through this one. You can't plan for the ultimates when you don't have the advantage like that. Well, pardon me, you can, but significantly more difficult. And now down a member, you can't plan for that at all. They drop the Gravitron Surge on top of it, however, and with 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the clock, that is a massive tool now out of their kit. Instantante backs off here, but it's not looking great for Modify.
They do have the Blizzard, though. Can they get value? They're going to have to because the grab, they're just trying to play too quick here. Modify, the patience that we saw on Volskaya just seems to be gone here, Dor. They're rushing into these fights. They're playing over-aggressive. They're throwing in ults, just seeming to hope that they will win the fights off of them. And the counterplays, just Karma right now are just one step ahead on everything.
All right, apologies everybody. We're trying to get this stream fixed up right about now, but Modify are trying to get their map fixed up. They drop in the Blizzard, they drop in the Coalescence. The bomb, however, great peel tool used by Kuchikopi, buys his team a whole lot of time. This may contest the card. The Deadeye finds 1, the Shatter finds 2, though.
They need it to be big.
Dante, it's big enough.
There. This Shatter was absolutely what they needed. They finally needed to break through there. At first, it looked like Karma had it in the bag. They had perfect counterplay once again. The self-destruct blocking off Modify. The Deadeye coming in from Seraph, also coming in for great zoning so they can't follow up on their Blizzard, but they held true. They finally had the patience they needed. They disengaged and they came back. They blocked the Shatter. The Dragon comes in. The Eye Field comes out. It's not going to find anything. And they're going to cap point B and show that it's not done yet here, Dor.
Absolutely nothing found there from Karma. They got their one strong hold, but they didn't get to touch that card at any other point. They do back off. They will get the reset here. That's what they're looking for. They want to play one more corner up, and with Seraph on this Reaper, I think that seems likely. He's been a threat on it all night, and he'll continue to be an absolute nuisance here to the side of Modify. And they've got a minute and 19 seconds to push this cart to the end of the map. They do have overtime afterwards. Is Karma?
Why is the free grab?
Overtime, but now Dante pushes in. He gets a little bit greedy though. He gets rolled off. The avoidability field keeps Karma alive, and now the push starts to come through without a main tank. Karma have free reign over this fight. MTT's doing a great job though from the high ground, putting in a lot of damage. It allows that damage orb to finish it off. The Coalescence dropped in here from Lekka, and your amplification matrix doesn't matter because this Moira is just too much. Now, remaining members, Whitman takes out Wise. There's two good stall heroes left on the cart here for Karma. They can at least force overtime. I'd assume at the very least they should have a Wrecking Ball coming in now. Push starts, wall up, keeps stacking them away from this cart, but Trolls is already there to hold. The Dragon drops in spawn, finds one, and they might just make it. The Blizzard down on point. Wise can't touch him with 2 seconds on the clock. Modify push point C uncontested.
Wise held their ultimate so long, so heartbreaking for Karma. Modify didn't have any counterplay. They can't eat it. They don't have a sound barrier. They have no ults online, and Wise has the Blizzard and just holds it for so long coming into that fight. I'm not entirely sure what they were waiting for. I'm not sure if there was a call to use another ultimate first and save the Blizzard. We cannot know that the side of Karma, but they had a free fight win off the back of it if they used it. That is heartbreaking for them, but the good thing is they do manage to keep them within a minute. This game is absolutely winnable for them. It is a 30-second difference on the time. Not too much of a difference. Still very winnable for both teams.
And it's going to be Karma on the attack. They're deciding that Seraph on this McCree is going to be the way they break this point out. Meanwhile, Modify, I'm assuming we're just going to see more of the same out of them. This Moira, Lucio, along with the Ryan Zarya, has been doing them just well enough. It seems like they don't need the Diva to try and win this one. The Graviton usage has been significantly better here over the past couple points. I like what I'm seeing out of Modify, but Karma, I'm sure, have plenty up their sleeve.
Absolutely. They look they're going to try to run a Widowmaker of their own. I would love to see this. Do what MTT did on the Widow coming up to start and see if Seraph is going to... Playing musical heroes right now. Goes from the Widow over to the McCree and now over to the Reaper. Sticking with that comfort pick from earlier tonight. Going to stick on. They've been having a lot of success. Don't blame him whatsoever. Stan Bumper trying to get a little bit of early energy. They're going to come in really aggressive. 50 seconds up on the clock here, Dor.
Oh, but watch the wall here. Watch Apex. Search for it, finds 4 members, but it's not going to be enough to win the fight.
Yeah, they get a pick!
Gets a pick! Apex over, aggressive, gets caught out in the hotel. Now without a May, this fight looks great for Karma. They find the wall. No! Instantly just barely able to worm his way around the side of that one. Gonna look to recontest point here, but a tick nearly given over to the side of Karma. Finds Instantly. Now no main tank, no May, no nothing here. As Karma took tick after tick on point A. MTT's on the back line. He's no match for Seraph right now. This man's popping off.
Karma played that perfectly in terms of the tempo. This is where D.Va versus Zarya comes into play and why a lot of teams run D.Va. Once those bubbles are down, your utility as Zarya is completely gone and you're relying on soul damage. But the D.Va's DM and their boosters come back so much faster. That's what enabled them to be better in the mid-fight and take that fight. And now they get another early pick. They're going to get a lot of free progress coming into overtime here, Dor, as they have their own Shatter, a Deadeye coming up, a Coalescence, and they are so close to a Blizzard. And then look at the side of Modify. They have nothing. Karma, if they played this right and they staggered their ultimates correctly, they can get so much progress here.
And it's all about distance, not about finishing this map right now. It's about making it further than you think the enemy team can. And Karma look like they are set up to go that distance. Tacking on, however. Oh, man. Oh, wait. Modify going. Okay, they're going to attack from the side. That's a horrible idea because there's a May wall in their way. Seraph down on the stand bumper. His bubble doesn't even matter at this point. They put themselves in a small corridor against a May, and I don't think there's anything worse they could have chosen to do. The Shatter goes down onto the Deadeye. May drops the Blizzard down onto the point here. Apex is still alive, trying to contest his cart. The wall is going to allow him to get out for just a moment, but it might just be a stagger here. This point 2 is almost definitely going to be taken here by Karma.
I absolutely adore Takenom's Shatter usages tonight. We saw one on Volskaya getting aggressive when they tried to run away. MTT comes around on the McCree going for a Deadeye. Takenom with no hesitation just turns solo shatters that man. No regard for his life. And now they're going to get one more fight here. They're going to try to contest, but they are not going to take this. Flip side of Modify, Karma are going to get a free second point. And they still have ult economy.
With like a down though, no main heals here. They're down in the ultimate economy. Just press a couple Qs here, and this could actually be the map being recompleted by Karma. I would not be surprised in the least here. 6 members on the card. Takenom searching here for a little bit of ultimate charge, but Trolls has it! Instante takes out Wise. Huge pick on the main, a huge shadow for here. Instante says this push stops. Now is overtime ticks over. No map completion here for Karma.
They just built up to those ultimates. The pick was exactly what they needed. They finally managed to dig their heels in, claw the tempo back, and they're able to swarm in with all their ultimates. That's the benefit of being in that position. You don't have to stagger ultimates anymore. If you're the defending team, that's your advantage. If you're trying to attack and get more progress, you got to keep trying to win off of a couple of ultimates. But if you just need to push them off cart, you can just come in with 6 Qs. Why not? You only got to win one fight, and that's exactly what we saw right there.
Modify playing very well, but they gave up so much distance. We're minute 32 on the clock. It barely even matters at this point. It takes that long for the cart to make it all that way through point C. So we're basically a dead even game, and it's all up to Modify to just outplay Karma, to play their minds off. It's going to take some great ultimates, some great positioning, and some great picks if they want to pull this one off. What are we thinking, Vila? They got it in them?
A lot of pressure on them right now because of how fast Karma got that point A take. I mean, a minute 30, that's not even all that much time to build up to a big ultimate combo. I mean, you got to be playing very well. You can't afford to get picked. You know, if you're playing the Zarya, if you're playing the Mei, your big fight swinging ultimates, you got to play conservative, you got to play careful, and you got to be getting a lot of value. So that way, when you finally come in for those ultimates, you actually have them online when time is expiring. So a lot of pressure on them right now to have a quick attack just like Karma did. And we should also talk about how well Karma have been mirroring the brawl here. They did not look as good doing it on Volskaya, but great halftime adjustments coming out, and now Modify coming in for their own attack.
That's exactly it. It's Karma not losing that ultimate advantage. They can force these brawly fights, these slugfests that they're so good at winning, so good at finding those picks, and they're going to look to do it again. The wall, though, misses onto Instante. Now backing up will be Modified. They've got the wall advantage, though. They need to push early now. They have all the resources to do it, but they don't. Now the wall should be back up online here for Wise. It's going to be an even push as Karma continues forward. MTT is such a threat on this Widowmaker, holding those sightlines, not allowing anybody to get anywhere near this point, but the wall goes down. No more sightlines for you, says Wise. The push comes in. The charge whiffs from Instante, but he gets frozen up. The damage is too much. Both teams lose their main tank. Coalescence, however, comes out first from Karma, and it looks to be enough to close out this fight. The Widowmaker is still alive. MTT still a threat, and every single pick that comes out right now matters. Kuchkabi goes down. That means it's going to be a while before we see another tank come out here for Karma. If a soft reset comes out from Modify, they could just do this. They've got the Graviton. They've got all the tools here. Instante looks to be the first man to push onto this point.
It was looking very promising. MTT was taking sightlines so well and breaking the shield, forcing him into that back cubby, but Instante just a little too over-aggressive, got frozen up and got killed by Karma. But they do have a grab coming in. He can't get it eaten. He does, and he gets it off.
There it is, the Graviton Surge picks up 5 members. The Deadeye going to be dropped here, trying to find a kill. The Surge goes down, not able to do anything. The Shatter as well, getting committed. Instante looks for kills, finds 2. MTT now on this McCree looks so much better. Instante picks up his 3rd of this push now, all the way in overtime. It's dead even. It's exactly where we saw Karma Modify have a hell of a task in front of him.
Such a gutsy grab usage by Sam Bumper. He lobbed that in from downtown, from half court, throwing in that Graviton Surge. Lucky he didn't get eaten, but the rest of Modify, they went in through Hotel. They took the attention of all of Karma, which allowed for a little bit of like a flank grab there, over on point, and the follow-up was finally there, but they lose one so early. This could end right here, Dork.
Oh, how aggressive do Karma want to play this? There he could play in towards Modify. Spawn, they're going to do a rally in. They start heading down. They've got the Shattered and team Instante. If they can just finish off this fight, it's huge. Now the Zarya out of the fight. Whitman is no chance of winning this one, and overtime ticks over. Karma taking Modify, get absolutely 0 progress after point A.
It's just the pick. That's all you need sometimes. When you're playing so well on that point, you're taking a little bit of ult economy, and you just get that one pick onto Lemoira. The strong healing is gone. The AoE healing is gone, and you're able to go in so aggressive with that ult advantage.
I've got to say, if there's a team that I put my money on playing from behind right now, you lose your Reinhardt, you lose whatever, it's got to be Karma. And if there's a team that I give an opportunity in this match right now to find picks, it's going to be Karma yet again. And so when overtime's ticking down on a map like that, you just have to think it's going in Karma's favor, because the picks don't come out for Modify. Solid fight wins with good ultimate usage are what we've seen out of Modify. But pick after pick after pick are what we see from Karma. And a pick is going to win you every single overtime you come into. And a lot of the time, it has been pardon me, Seraph on the McCree, who's been doing it. He's been doing such a great job.
Absolutely, and I also want to mention the supports of Karma. In a lot of these mid-fights where it looks like Modify is going to take it, so many situations where Karma have been able to rebound the fight back, and that's because their supports have been staying alive so well. They've been positioned so well. Their discipline has been incredible. Trolls, I don't think, has gotten picked once yet this entire match. I could be wrong on that, but his positioning on that Moira has been absolutely wonderful, not allowing themselves to get picked, always being there when they need them to, getting the heals over to the front line, not allowing themselves to get split as well. And that support advantage has really been paying dividends, especially on King's Row right there. And in a game where everyone had Modify sweeping this, or maybe not sweeping, but playing very aggressively and taking a dominant win, Karma now stand in a firm position to take a huge win and make a statement against a rising star in the Harmony tier.
They will be making a couple of substitutions. Bard comes in for MTT. Bard was instrumental on the Mei on Volsky, and he's going to be looking to do it here again. We're waiting, though, for the map pick to come out from Modify, and we will be heading on to Escort. Where do you think it's going to be going, though? It's Watch Point Gibraltar, Havana, or Route 66?
Well, at this point, it's a little difficult for Modify. It does look like they're going to choose Route 66. Because initially, going into this, I would have said anything that favors Brawl. But we just saw Karma mirror the Brawl and beat them at their own game on King's Row. So now what do you do? Because Modify, they have been sticking to this. That has been their philosophy as a team. And, you can't really bank on that. And now you're playing Route 66, point A, it opens up dive just a little bit. It's not an incredible dive map by any means. It's not Watch Point Gibraltar. But, if Karma want to go back to that, where they had so much success on Busan, they could even do that. This, I think, a little bit plays into Karma's hands.
And now, as we look to head on to what might just be our final map, you think it plays into Karma's hands just a little bit? I think it might as well, but there's a team that we know can do it. It's this Modify roster. They pull it off on Volsky. Will they be able to do it again? Will we be heading out to a map 5? Not quite sure yet, but there's got to be some changes made here for the blue side. Whether it's target calling, whether it's that aggressive ultimate usage that we're seeing out of Karma mirroring that, they've got to make a change.
Well, they did do that just right now. They brought in Bard. So now we're going to see Bard and Apex playing. Of course, one of them I assume will be on the Mei. It will be Bard. Bard was getting more value out of the Mei in the first half compared to Apex on King's Row, so it's not very surprising. We're going to see Apex go to hit scan for the first time tonight, which is very interesting. And yeah, they're going to stick this kind of comp, and we see so far that Karma are also going to be sticking to their philosophy, running the Ryan D.Va instead of the Ryan Zarya. Also running a Mei, running that McCree. We see a almost complete mirror comp with the exception of the off tanks. And we're just going to see a big battle here in the show here.
I've got to say, Kuch Copy has been an absolute standout. Everybody on Karma, in fact, have had absolutely incredible plays. Modify, again, they said it to us before, but their team play is what wins them fights. And now, as Instante lines up here against Takanom, which of these main tanks goes down first is going to be a big question, but we do have the same compositions coming out, so I can't help but think this is going to start heading the way of Karma. Unless Bard can do something miraculous on this Mei, they've got to change it up after King's Row. Push here will be starting. The Mei wall comes down, blocks up the supports, but a great stun takes Takanom. Frozen might be taken out, but Instante's in the back line, and he's a little bit too big for his britches. Now as both the Reinhardt's nearly taken out, but Takanom continues to live here. Kuch Copy only taken out of the mech, traded out for a Reinhardt. You know what, I'll take that one any day of the week as the push continues. Mei wall to try and peel, and the cart stops Bard buying a lot of time, and it's enough time for Apex to find the Dome of Seraph. Takanom's under a lot of pressure, nearly getting frozen up. The shield's under so much. And Karma just can't push this corner right now.
Yeah, Modify, great job of losing their Reinhardt and then still managing to hold Stamp Bumpers, bubble usage. Very good so far here on Route 66. And Stante now rejoins the fight.
But look at the ultimates here from Modify. They've got a lot to work with. They're so close. The Deadeye comes up, dropped in here from Apex. Gets Defense Matrix. Great play by Kuch Copy. Now gets taken out of mech and the Graviton committed. That's almost definitely the fight here for Modify.
Let's credit the supports coming in for the side of Modify. We talked about The supports from Karma, last map, a responding Coalescence coming out from Wet Noodle absolutely saved Instante there. I was watching that, 100% certain he was gonna die. Got frozen up, got Coalescence. They were just going so heavy on him, but the support was there, and they managed to keep him alive, and now he's becoming this with a Shatter, but Takenom has a Shatter of his own. Let's see who can get theirs in.
A real battle of wits
Great
here.
wall there.
Ars Takenom those in a bit of trouble. The Shatter gets blocked! Oh, huge by Wise! Now looking their way through, they've got the Shatter up. Will they use it? Takenom just waiting for his opportunity, but the Blizzard dropped on point and maybe a little bit too long of a wait. Now Blizzard barely catches Diva. Takenom will be keeping alive for the time being. Instante gets a wheel on Takenom, but the Shatter lands onto and nothing. The bomb over though finds 2. He doesn't even need the combo. Kuchikabi finds 2.
Yeah, very weird ult placement coming out from the main. Not sure if that's what Bard intended. He got it on the edge of the cliff right there, and it only got Kuchikobi caught in that. So not a lot of value coming out from that Blizzard. They were still able to go through that choke and get all the value they needed, and we haven't seen too much coming out from the bombs from Kuchikobi tonight. We finally see a very nice double that enables them to finally put the nail in the coffin in that fight. But Modify, they might get one more coming in here. Not sure if they're going to give this up right now. They are going to come in.
Oh, and they've got a Graviton nearly up. The Coalescence should be dropped soon, and almost immediately, the Blizzard, though, from Wise looks to seal it out. Stand Bumper's frozen. That's a lot of damage now out of the question. The Deadeye dropped. Seraph searching for kills, but everybody cowering fear behind. The Deadeye now from Apex. Besides, his hit turn finds one of the Halvar. Now, all of a sudden, Modify looking great in this fight.
Yeah, it was a fantastic disengage from them. The Blizzard came in really early from Wise, and it looked like that may have been enough to sweep the fight. Seraph also came in with his Deadeye. They did a really good job playing around the cover, getting back in the caves, not falling victim to that Blizzard, while still managing to have somebody contesting the cart. And then they managed to swing back in with their own Deadeye and come back in and take the fight. And now they have a grab set up for this next fight, while they only have the Coalescence on the side of Karma.
Yeah, I want to see more aggression following that Blizzard from Wise, but it just wasn't there. You have to close out that fight more quickly, or else your ultimate advantage doesn't even matter. Now they're trying to push you in a very unconvincing position. They're Gravitoned up. They're swung through. And that hammer is just too much to deal with here. Modify win themselves one more fight. Now 22 seconds on the clock. Karma haven't even made it through point A.
Yeah, Wise being a little cheeky there, getting the wall built up on the cave, but Stan Bumper coming in with that grab saying, I'm not trapped in here with you, you're trapped in here with me. Completely managing to scoop that fight, and now even though Karma, while they've been having a lot of success in these fights, Modify have been able to stall so long that they haven't even gotten there and they're running out of time. They already lose one. But a Shatter's big.
It is, but Instante finds one of his own. The Blizzard dropped on point. Overtime ticking down. Kuchikabi might not even get a touch in here as it ticks down. Oh, barely makes it, but yeah. This one's just not long for life. As Modify hold on during point A, we might be going to a map 5, Vila.
Absolutely, it's very possible. Incredibly winnable game for Modify. Their defense there was outstanding, just like it was on Volskaya at point B. And again, it was because we saw the patience. We saw them not rushing into fights like they were doing as much on King's Road. It was like they finally settled their nerves a little bit. They understand their backs are against the wall. They got to go back to playing their kind of game. And we're also seeing just a little bit of this composition lineup maybe throwing Karma off a little bit. Like we mentioned in the pregame, this is a team that are almost complete flexes all around. They can hop into any role. You never know what these guys are going to switch up to. They might throw in different tank players. They're throwing in a different DPS lineup right now with both Apex and Bard, unlike the first half. And so that gives you different looks, different players with different patterns and what they do. It's a little harder to adjust to.
I've got to say, Bard feels like a real difference maker right now. The May play is solid, don't get me wrong, but we talked to Karma before the matchup, and they did say Bard was a real leader in the communications, making a lot of big plays there, as well as his map knowledge and deciding where they want to be taking these fights, and it shows there, showing that they want to re-engage, disengaging back behind the gas station, re-engaging after the Deadeye comes out. It's just plays like that that are winning Modify these games, and I feel like Bard definitely has something to do with them.
Absolutely, and then once again, you know, the support play. The support play coming into Route 6 has also been exponentially better coming in for Modify, you know, with little shakies at times, you know, getting picked, you know, getting a little split like on Busan and sometimes on King's Row. A very nice early pick coming in from Apex onto Seraph.
We'll get rezzed up. This Junkrat's back, but the push isn't over here. Oh, he gets picked up just to get put down. Now Takenom trying to engage, trying to find the trades, but Apex and Instante look to be too much. It's Apex's turn on this Widow right now. Forget MTT. This man's looking to do it. Now Kuchikabi goes in for the stagger, but he's not going to hold on for very long. Karma in her tight spot.
right now it seems like Instante is doing a much better job playing around the bubbles. You know, sometimes, they were using bubbles very early in the fight, then trying to go in. The communication wasn't really there. They weren't doing adequate bubble rotations on the Zarya, which sort of defeats the purpose. But right there, we saw a perfectly timed bubble onto the charge to get that pick. They waited a little bit, waiting for the projector to come back in, and did a perfect and flawless double bubble push to secure that fight. And now we're seeing the dive come back for Karma.
It's back, and it might just be in time. It's almost to that yellow box of victory right now. Karma re-engage their point, but with 3 minutes left on the clock, Instante finds the shatter. Oh my god, he didn't have to do it. The coalescence dropped on top here for Karma, trying to keep the point alive, but this Moira is the only thing between Modify and a map 5, and you know what? I think we're going to a map 5, Vila.
We absolutely are, Dora. Once again, just after map 1, bouncing back. Both of these teams really rising to the challenge, not falling into adversity whatsoever. Punch, counter punch, repeat.
That's exactly it. Now we're heading on to map 5. Both these teams have an incredibly tall order, but unfortunately for you guys, we're going to take a quick little break, try and get some of these production issues fixed up, try and get some other settings in OBS. I am no production wizard like our friend Juke, but you know what? I'm sure we'll get it all up and working for you guys. We'll see you in just